about
I
your
want
coffees?
black coffee.
And some morphine, please.
Tea
All
to
good,
सब
cameras,
चलेगा.
everything set?
We are all set.
मैं धीरे-धीरे मनोज सर के पास आने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ.
We'll have to start.
हम तो शुरू हो गए गुरु.
Hello everyone, I'm Rudrani and welcome to Zoom Speak Easy. This is of course the best performances 2023 panel discussion. It's practically impossible to get everybody who have performed so well because there have been so many performances that are revered, received so well and gotten so much love for the audiences, but I'm very, very grateful and thankful to the guests who've joined in today. They are definitely among the best performances of the year. You've given them so much love and they are so diverse and talented. Starting with, of course, Mr. Manoj Bajpayee, who's given us a hat trick, kind of unheard of to give 3 incredible performances in a year, of course. When you think of it, they're absolutely diverse. You think of the never give up attitude of his wonderful character in Joram. Then you, of course, come to think about what he did with his lawyer character in Banda, fearless and always fighting for the right thing and justice that is always very difficult to do. And then the beautiful emotional drama, Gulmohar. And then we talk about our second guest, Mr. Vijay Varma. He makes you always remember that there is nothing that Vijay cannot do. He went into Dahaad and you could never guess what this man is about. He played a killer that you liked and also got scared of. So that's Vijay Varma for you. Then you, of course, have Ali Fazal's wonderful performance in Khufiya, where he brought out the duality of his life that he was leading as the loyal husband and as the possible spy. And he did an absolutely amazing job. And then, of course, the other chameleon in the house, Mr. Gulshan Devaiah. He again gave such diametrically opposite characters. He played it. You guys loved it. One, of course, in Dahaad, the always idealistic cop who wants to do the right thing in Dahaad. And then the very mysterious, psychotic kind of killer in Guns and Gulabs, and you gave him love for that too. And then, of course, we have the exceptionally talented Ishaan Khatter, who won our heart with that energy of the young brigadier of Mr. Balram. And you know that it's so difficult to get that right mix. The man who's growing up and learning, and also then being the man that you all love and respect. Thank you so much for giving them so much love because I could convince them to come here. Thank you so much for joining in.
Wow.
Thank you.
That was long.
Thank you.
You all have to stay in me. I would like to give all of you all a clap.
Thank you. But
I'm giving you a clap.
clap for
कितना अच्छा
you.
introduction दिया आपने.
I kept thinking
No, because where is the teleprompter
There is no
here?
teleprompter.
There is no teleprompter.
Thank you. Thank you.
It came from the heart, and thank you so
Well,
much.
there it is, the duality of Gulshan Devaiah.
चार कट आत्मा
At your
आपके
service.
सामने, at my service. Very awkward to do this, but I think I'll
Okay,
skip.
fine.
Let me stay in this very
I'll just
contemplative mood right now.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, coming back to that, thank you for making this happen. I know it's very difficult to get everybody together, but I truly think all of you here put together, look at the incredible amount of talent that is there right now in this room. And I get to be a part of this and listen to your stories. It's an absolute honor. The question I'm going to ask is going to be common for all of you. I'm starting with that. And here's my question. Is it important for you to humanize every character that you do? If so, what is the process, particularly for the ones that I've discussed? And the second part of the question is, or is it important for you to dissociate completely so that, especially when you're in the middle of a performance, of an immersive performance, which side or which route do you take and why? That's my first question. Starting with, shall we start with Mr. Manoj Bajpayee?
Start with him.
Okay.
Junior से senior तक.
Oh, it's like
Junior
that.
to senior.
Are you following that? Okay.
So why would you put me on the spot?
No. Start with.
Well, सबसे पहले तो मैं ये कहना चाहूँगा कि मेरे लिए बहुत बड़ा सौभाग्य है कि मैं आज मनोज साहब जैसे शख्सियत के साथ बैठा भी हूँ. And these are all actors that I genuinely really admire. So I'm very happy to just be here.
We like you too.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. To answer your question, I think so long as you're playing a human being, it's important to humanize the character. Unless you're playing, some version of AI that is emotionally completely, vacant or something, or some kind of other character. Humanity comes in various forms and shapes and emotions, and unless at least for me, speaking for myself, unless I feel some kind of kinship and relatability to a character, चाहे वो एक छोटी सी चीज़ क्यों ना हो about the character, maybe one aspect of the character, I don't know how to enter into it till I find that.
Give an example of how you did that for Balram, for the character, I mean Captain Balram.
I think there were many things. I think the fact that he was a young man taking on a very heavy burden of responsibility, him wanting to prove himself, you know, and जोश होता है जवानी का, जो कहीं ना कहीं फिल्म के पहले हिस्से में बहुत obvious था, और फिर चलते चलते you realize that it sinks into him that there is a cost of war, you know. You start seeing him change, and you start seeing him become less about himself, and I identified with that journey, and so I thought I'll hopefully be able to carry that emotional connect on with the character as I perform it.
It was a good performance, yeah.
Thank you.
मजा आया था.
Thank you, bhai.
Or even Priyanshu and Mrunal with you.
Yeah,
It was a great team, yeah.
it's a joy to work with him.
Yeah, man. मजा आ गया था.
I was completely sold in. As soon as I saw him move, I was like, this is so cinematic and so beautiful, so graceful. Only very few actors can pull that off, and Ishaan has got that.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't use my past experiences or anything consciously, at least.
Correct.
I don't think I think about a memory or something that, you know, maybe can stimulate. Consciously to nahi karta, kam se kam. I think the character gives it to you. I think if it's well written, it comes. You know, it like you start feeling it. Actually, yesterday I was reading what I think is a good piece of writing, and while reading the scene, I started wo bhav aane laga andar. So I think it comes. Yeah.
No, on certain days, you know, like how he's saying he doesn't use real life. I tried it to use my real life trauma. It doesn't last beyond 2 takes, and then I figured it's not a good technique. मैंने बहुत कोशिश किया.
It really doesn't last. It really doesn't last.
Yeah, and you feel so bad because you're supposed to, and then something stupid happens in your head. You think like, oh, something terrible has happened in your life and you're using it, and now it's not affecting you. What kind of a
So then you feel
inhuman
worse.
person are you? And
At the end
it's
of
not
the
a
day,
good place to go.
You know, everyone forgets that Stanislavski has written that method after having done so many years of theatre. And everybody wants to achieve it from the word go. It doesn't happen, and that's also an individual method. He's only giving you certain kind of exercises to do it. It may work for you, it may not work for you. It may work for Gulshan, it may not work for Ishaan.
Yeah.
You know, it's
On
very
one film it
individual.
may work, on another film it may
It,
not
do,
work
it does,
completely.
you know, so at the end of the day, everyone says that you have to be in the truth of the moment. What is the truth of the moment? To reach the truth of the moment, the preparation is very long, the process is very long, and that process is very individual.
Yeah.
It varies from actor to actor, film to film. If you are, I don't apply the same method to another film which I have applied, say, in Aligarh. You know, it doesn't require. So when your approach changes, when you look at the character, you read the scripts again and again, you suddenly realize that the interpretation of yours is demanding a different kind of approach. You are poking, exploring, and trying to find out a method. I personally keep changing it, keep trying to find a method to approach that character, which will suit the interpretation that I have thought for the character. You prepare, and then when you go on the set, or even when you are attending a workshop, everything fails. 50% fails. What do you do? What do you do then? Then just because you are prepared, then certain other things comes to your rescue. If you are not prepared, then you know you suddenly feel helpless. You are looking at the director. You really don't know that blackout will happen. But that is why I always be over prepared. It doesn't matter. After that, you can unlearn. But please prepare.
Manoj, so for Joram and in case of Bandas, again, very different characters.
Right.
Of course, both are, of course, fighting and standing up and being the voice for themselves at some point or the other. But for you, it must be very interesting because you said it cannot be the same. I want to know what is it that works for you? What worked for you in Joram and what worked for you in Banda?
Joram is a socio-political, commentary at the end of the day. And see, Banda is at the core of it is a courtroom drama.
Yeah.
Okay. But what is instigating this guy, who is a meek guy, who is just a regular lawyer, who must be sitting on a notary, or working on getting somebody some kind of a relief from breaking the signal. He's that kind of a lawyer. He hasn't gotten any kind of a big case, and suddenly a big case has landed up at his door. Now he has to do it. What is really pushing him? I realize that the only factor which is really forcing him to go on is the girl. The girl who is 16 years old, who decides to stand up, and she's not ready to surrender to anything.
Yeah.
And he, as a lawyer, or he as an individual, he as a man, cannot afford to leave this case. That much of conscience is left in him, because you see his mother there, old mother, you see his son, at home, that there is something more than just a meek guy there. Okay, so I realized that let me take this strength from this girl, and if you see the entire film, I'm only looking up to that girl. So I made it a point to always think of that girl and do the scene. Think of that girl and do the scene. There was no real life incidents that I have. So you always find your own
Focal point.
Yeah, focal point or inspiration to do a certain thing. And courtroom dramas are verbose.
Yeah.
You have lines. You have
specific-
no leeway actually, where you can just give a shot, a close-up shot where you are just looking, thinking, contemplating,
Yeah.
in conflict, nothing. And in between the lines, you have to just steal a pause, steal some silent moment.
Yeah.
Trick is there.
You know that trick very well. Because I
Yeah.
have often found him to be the most, he uses the voice and speech so well. He's known for the dialogues as well. And it's always felt, it's always loaded with something. Very few actors have that.
Also, I think he gives the best
That's the
pauses.
best
I don't know if I'm like in his monologues. I think he has the best pauses, just the right amount, like just enough for the drama, and then
You can study.
Yeah.
You can study from his
So
work.
true.
He's so meticulous with his.
थैंक यू इतने बड़े अच्छे एक्टर के साथ आ रहा है. लेकिन जोरम के साथ में क्या था कि there was no word, and Devashish Makhija is a criminal. He keeps reducing the dialogues. He started with 42 dialogues and ended up with 16.
Did you enjoy that, sir?
I love it.
Dialogue
Give me-
slashing is the best.
Yeah, you give me no dialogue, it's best for
Yeah.
me. But at the end of the day, dialogue or no dialogue, you have a
You
job
have to
in your
go-
hand.
yeah,
You have
yeah,
to do
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Whether with voice or with face or body, you're communicating.
You are communicating. You have a job on your hand, and you got to do it well. But do it well. So you just put everything that you have, experience or the craft or the preparation, whatever. But you have to pull it off. The only person you want to at that point of time, appease is the director, and you are not looking at anyone else.
What's your happiest moment?
Yeah.
I want to ask,
Yeah.
what is your happiest moment when, during this entire filming process? Is it when you finish the film, the journey of your character, या जब खुल के निकल के आता है और कोई पहला बंदा जो बोलता है कि यार मजा आ गया?
Or the prep?
Or the prep? Yeah. Like
Mine
for
is
you,
the prep. Yeah.
prep.
Oh my God, I just love it. Yeah, because after that, what happens that you are only being judged.
Yeah.
During the making, I mean, even if
But that by default you can't
by
help
default.
it.
But so say if when you're shooting, there are people who are looking at you. Okay.
Yeah.
All of them are making their own film. All the assistant directors are making their own film. They are having their own judgment. Director is thinking, I don't know, Manoj sir ka kya hua, in this scene, somehow he managed, no, in this scene he was good, So he is also kind of struggling with all his actors, not only Manoj. But it's the preparation time when you are left alone.
Yeah.
And you're just following your own the gut and the imagination and all of that. That
more
is the only
individual
time.
also, no,
Yeah,
sir?
very individual. It's liberating at that point of time. But suddenly you go in the workshop and you feel that everything that you prepared.
हो गया
अरे ये तो ऐसे करके आया
कुछ भी काम नहीं कर रहा.
So अभी I did my sorry 2 दिन से मैं लगा हुआ हूँ, रात में लेट सो रहा हूँ क्योंकि मैं बैठ के स्क्रिप्ट पे I'm trying to figure out the tone and this and that. और कल मेरी ग्रुप रीडिंग है और मेरे को पत्ते खुल जाएंगे जाते पत्ते खुल जाएंगे कि जो भी मैं ट्राई करना चाह रहा हूँ क्या चिपकता है और क्या.
पता है विजय, पत्ते दूसरे के सामने नहीं खुलते हैं, आपके अपने
हाँ
सामने
नहीं, वो
खुलते हैं.
खुद को ही पता चलेगा.
हाँ, खुद को ही चलता
क्योंकि
है.
मैंने अभी अकेले ट्राई कर लिया है. अब मैं जाके वहाँ बैठूंगा और पढ़ूंगा तो
मुझसे
पता
इसलिए
चल जाएगा.
मुझसे रटा नहीं जाता यार, मैं नहीं रट पाता हूँ.
But that's a good thing.
आई नीड समवन टू
Play
मुझे 1-2 मिनट अगर दे दो किसी के साथ who's reading with me, I'll remember.
अच्छा.
But I just वो जो
खुद
रट्टा नहीं होता. So the prep is different. I'm not talking about prep.
I know
but
you are memorizing the lines. Yeah.
जैसे sometimes testing for like certain parts, I can't. तो मैं तो बिल्कुल ही कच्चा हो जाता हूँ.
Do you mean the words
Memorizing
or
the words.
Memorizing
words. Just the words.
Pure words.
The words.
उसमें मेरा वो हो जाता
आई
है.
थिंक वो क्लास में
dyslexia.
अटेंटिव बच्चा था ना, जो टीचर जो कहते थे वो सुनता था लेकिन किताबें नहीं पढ़ता था.
हाँ, मतलब मैं फॉर्मूला डिराइव करके आ जाता था लेकिन तब तक टाइम खत्म हो जाता था. तो कभी पेपर नहीं कंप्लीट होता था मेरा.
मैं क्या करता हूँ, पहली लाइन तो एकदम रट्टा मार लेता हूँ पहले, क्योंकि हाँ शुरुआत निकल जाएगी, उसके बाद में फिर भगवान भरोसे उधर से मिल जाएगा राइट कुछ, तो आपको शायद याद आ जाएगा क्या बोलना है.
मुझे पता है, मुझे एक and I'm sharing this with you guys. There's an actor called Vineet Kumar.
अरे
So if you meet him,
बहुत-
he comes across as a very loud, disinterested guy, reluctant actor.
विनीत कुमार.
विनीत
Yeah,
जो
yeah.
रह
मुक्काबाज.
जाता है. नहीं
अच्छा,
नहीं
नहीं,
वो
नहीं,
विनीत
विनीत
है,
कुमार
विनीत,
सिंह है
अच्छा,
वो.
वो सिंह है.
विनीत.
सो
ये कोई और है. अच्छा.
वो even I thought
अब मैं
विनीत-
वॉइस इन स्पीच के लिए ना, मैं अपने थिएटर के समय में मैं हमेशा जो है, श्री वल्लभ व्यास थे उस समय सीनियर एक्टर
अच्छा,
थे.
विनीत वो जो टेलीविजन में भी काम
हाँ, NSD के.
अच्छा, समझ गया मैं.
सो मैं वॉइस एंड स्पीच के लिए टीचर ढूंढ रहा था या कोई, बिकॉज नेशनल स्कूल ड्रामा में मेरा एडमिशन नहीं हुआ, मतलब पिछवाड़ा घिस लिया मैंने, कुछ नहीं हुआ. तो मैं अब मुझे लग रहा था यार सब कुछ कर रहा हूँ मैं बाहर में, आई एम कॉम्पनसेटिंग, बट मुझे वॉइस एंड स्पीच पे मुझे कोई आदमी नहीं मिल रहा था जो मुझे हेल्प करे. एंड वॉइस एंड स्पीच समथिंग मेनली आफ्टर आई सॉ नसीर साहब performing and Pacino performing, I said यार ये तो चाहिए मुझे. या फिर Peter O'Toole, you see his performance and you say नहीं boss, your voice and speech has to be perfect. And I kept on looking for somebody who could guide me. Whatever I had at that point, I never thought that, I always thought that I'm lacking. And Shri Vallabh Vyas, I attended a workshop with him. Somebody said that he's very good. I did the workshop and he was really good. He guided me in few areas. But still, I was not satisfied. After Bandit Queen, I shifted to Bombay. काम था नहीं, किसी भी सेट पे जाते थे वहाँ से सबसे पहले हकाल दिए जाते थे हम लोग, तो ज़्यादातर समय जो है खाली रहते थे. तो मैंने खोजना शुरू किया यार वॉइस एंड स्पीच पे काम करना अभी, दिस इज़ द राइट टाइम व्हेन वी डोंट हैव वर्क. देन समबडी टोल्ड मी, आई थिंक माशू धोलिया, अबे यार तू कहाँ कहाँ ढूंढ रहा है, विनीत को बोल, तेरा दोस्त है, तू जानने वाला है, तू उसके पास जा, उसके पास जा. वो क्या है ना, बकवास करेगा, वो कुछ भी बोलता है, बट ऐसे जा, 4 बार जाएगा, देन ही विल गेट इंटरेस्टेड इन टीचिंग यू. एंड आई स्टार्ट गोइंग टू हिम. टिल नाउ I could never find one guy who's so good in teaching voice and speech.
सर
नहीं, अब आप बिल्कुल सही
मैं
कह रहे
आपसे कहूँगा, शायद आप यकीन नहीं करेंगे, लेकिन ये महज इत्तेफाक की बात तो नहीं हो सकती. I've been thinking about this so much. I think I really needed to hear that. I've been thinking about voice and speech a lot.
You're right.
Just as a, not even as a tool, just as a form of expression. Because पता नहीं what it is, it's been for months, it's been in my mind. कि मुझे पता, I don't know where to go for, but I want to find someone to just to jam about.
Go
this.
to him, but don't be disheartened because he will only discourage you.
Yeah.
He may be,
Fair play.
he may be
Very classic theatre person at it.
because he may be very. You will feel that he's insulting, but he's not. He's not. That's
amazing.
उसमें कुछ तो मिलेगा ना सर.
but बहुत सारा मिलेगा.
कुछ मिलेगा.
लेकिन एक चीज जो this is where I coming to. कि कैसे मेमोराइज करते हैं स्पीच, अपनी लाइनें कैसे मेमोराइज करते हैं। उसने बड़ी अच्छी बात कही गुलशन, उसने कहा घटिया से घटिया राइटर होगा, घटिया से घटिया राइटर होगा मनोज, वो दूसरा लाइन का कारण पहले लाइन में छोड़ देता है। Why second line is happening, there is always a reason in the first line.
Yeah.
And why the second para is happening, there is always a reason in the last line of the first para.
Yeah.
So if you keep reading that, you will find the reason,
Yeah.
and you don't need to memorize the lines.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
You know, so I said, wow, इस आदमी ने तो कमाल ही काम कर दिया मेरे लिए।
चाबी दे दी।
Fantastic.
मेरे लिए, मैं हिंदी भाषी
So who else? You should go.
भाषा को लेकर काफी दिक्कत होती थी पहले क्योंकि हम तो हिंदी नहीं बोलते हैं, हम साउथ से, हमारी मातृभाषा कुछ और है, कड़वा तक है।
बिल्कुल।
तो पहले वो था कि शुरू में तो मैं रट्टा ही मारता था।
हाँ, तो वो तो
क्योंकि यह गड़बड़ नहीं होनी चाहिए। करेक्ट। तो वो ठीक है, वो व्याकरण में गड़बड़ हो गया, उच्चारण में गड़बड़ हो गया, लिंगों में तो होना ही होना है।
हाँ,
ठीक है, ये बनाए तो अब तो हिंदी भाषी है, अब तो आप तो खैर हो ही। तो वो दिक्कत होती थी। लेकिन जब से मैंने स्ट्रेस छोड़ दिया कि मैं ठीक है, गलत हो गई तो दोबारा कर लेंगे, दोबारा गलत हुई तो तीसरी बार कर लेंगे। जब वो स्ट्रेस छोड़ दिया ना, तो लाइनों का गड़बड़ होना लगभग बंद ही हो गया। हो जाता है, सबसे हो जाता है, लाइन एक आध बार गड़बड़ हो ही जाता है। बट कुछ थोड़ा बहुत इनका टेक्निक भी काम आता है कि कई बार, क्योंकि अभी नंबर लग गया मेरा, है ना।
I thought it was fashion.
कितने साल से
Oh, even I thought, because
तो
it's
क्या है
really
ना,
excellent.
सेट पे कभी-कभी
चला रहा है,
लाइट
fashion
पे
के
ना
लिए।
स्क्रिप्ट देते हैं, सर ये लाइन चेंज हुआ है। मैंने कहा यार पढ़ नहीं पाऊंगा, आप जो भी हैं वहाँ पे असिस्टेंट डायरेक्टर असिस्टेंट, क्या आप ना एक बार सुना दीजिए लाइन। तो उसमें सही बात है कि
मैं तो खुद
हो
पढ़ता
जाता है
हूँ,
वो।
मतलब ऐसे जैसे कॉन्वर्सेशन हो।
इसके साथ तो मैंने बहुत रीडिंग करता रहता है बैठ के।
बिकॉज मैं सुनता हूँ, आई ट्राई टू लिसन। तो वो एक
हाँ, तो ये
अपना है भाई।
तो इट्स अ कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ बोथ कि मैं पढ़ के भी आता हूँ और सुनने, वो उससे हो जाता है। लेकिन इम्पोर्टेंट चीज है कि लाइनों को लेके बिल्कुल स्ट्रेस नहीं। कुछ भी आप कविता शेर सुनवा दो मुझसे, कविता है, जो भी है, कोई भी भाषा है, डायलेक्ट है, लेकिन जब मैं स्ट्रेस करूंगा तो 100% मैं अटकूंगा, गलती। और कंपोजर मेंटेन करना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट।
Sorry, what was the question?
तो कहीं और
मुझे मजा आ रहा था। नो प्रॉब्लम, मुझे मजा आ रहा था। नो प्रॉब्लम, यही सुनना था मुझे। ये कहानियां बहुत जरूरी होती है। बट आई वाज कमिंग नेक्स्ट टू यू ओनली विजय, कि अब ये सवाल आपके लिए अलग होगा। Humanizing your character, because your character, of course, is not what, like he said, कि मेरे character से मैं connect कर सकता हूँ. Like connecting with someone who is a psychotic killer, right? Like in his head he's not, but I'm saying like for the world we know it is. I'm saying that now my question for you is, what is your thing there? How does that work out for you?
Just to be
seriously, मैंने एक ही किया अभी तक। तो yeah, it's Dahaad, but no, I tried to understand this person and I failed. Beyond a certain point, I don't know why somebody does something like that. I don't have a reason for it. I don't understand the emotional kick or anything that you get out of it. So then you play, then you act. What I actually focused on, and which the script also showcased more, was the normalcy of this person. The ability to hide in plain sight. If this guy behaves like anything out of ordinary, then everybody who are very smart police officers around me will be able to tell from a mile away.
The camouflage.
And other characters will look like, not intelligent. So it was absolutely necessary for this character to merge and look like a very normal person. So focused more on normalcy. But of course there are some, there are certain things about this person which I did not understand. And I tried to find reasons, but I kept going and asking Reema ki, kyun, matlab why? She's like, he gets a kick out of it. And I don't know what that kick is. Because I can't personally understand that feeling. Yeah. No, but death is, yeah. So it's too alien concept. But I just had to play it. Our job is to try to do something. And the good thing which the script helped me was he's not there. He's at the crime scene. He does his job and he disappears. He's probably once in the show we see him looking at that dead body coming out and and getting a kick out of it. And
But serial killers are like that, right?
Yeah.
These are psychopaths because they have very, they get, as you said so rightly, that he gets a kick out of it. What is, and every serial killer has a different thing where they get their, kick.
Yeah.
I was reading this story where this guy used to cut the, what do you call it?
The jugular. Yeah.
And then after cutting it, there used to be a sound that used to come out.
You like the sound?
Something like that. He used to get a kick out of it. And that is why he used to kill every time.
वो सुनने के
So just to hear that.
Yeah,
So he wouldn't mind कि वो मरने के बाद जिंदा वापस इंसान हो जाए.
No, he didn't mind. He just wanted to hear that.
तो ये सारे किस्से कहानियां मैंने सुन लिए थे. सारे I heard several serial killers. But the way they would conduct themselves was very interesting. In the courtroom proceeding, they looked like insurance agents, Very like, some of them were really like family men. And so I focused on the normalcy of this person. And of course, there was a lag between what was told to him and how he is supposed to feel. Because all these are not real emotional responses. Wife cheating on him doesn't hurt him. It's just inconvenience for him. So he has to pull up that folder in this file from his folder कि I have to behave like this in this moment because this is the right kind of a behavior. So एक थोड़ा सा एक lag रहता है उसके perform the way he reacts. And apart from that, it was these are technical stuff, but there is humanity in this person. Like there is humanity in the most evil person as well. I try to tap onto it, but at no point I wanted people to, understand him or
Like him.
fall in the charm of him. That was not my intention. In fact, I felt like people will be creeped out, and which a lot of people.
serial killers
100%.
being likable is very important actually, because that's when you are affected more.
Your victims
That you are
like
like oh my god, this is actually a cool person otherwise. Otherwise ये सब निकाल देंगे. And
They're charming, right?
Yeah,
That's
they
part
are.
of the sociopathic nature.
Yeah.
I suppose. So which is why it's weird for us also कि within society के हमको पता चला कि somebody you had met or something कि उन्होंने ऐसा कुछ भयंकर कांड कर दिया तो अरे but हमने तो यार एक बार बात किया था ठीक ही लग रहा था actually मुझे अच्छा लग रहा था अच्छी बात हुई थी हमारी ये सब so it being likable is a hook that has to be there.
And it's
a character like
it
this.
varies from character to character, right?
Yeah.
Like a Charles Sobraj, his whole thing was only that you were charmed by him, that he could like hypnotise you or something. How
But
do you
even
not make
he
him like
is like that.
Yeah.
He is a charmer to the victims. That
Right.
is the reason why they all fall in love with
Yeah,
him. उनकी
28 women decided
Yeah,
to
and they
marry
all
him.
wanted to marry and fall in love. Like he made them fall in
And
love
it's
with
based
him.
on a real character,
Yeah.
so it's man married 28 women.
I know a person who's actually seen the real character.
Oh really? Oh my god.
Did you tell him that when you were shooting?
No, I found out much later. A friend of my mom's, he had a clinic.
After they saw
And
it.
this person was had rented a room in a guest house, rooms hote na. And he saw him walk by there. He remembers him because
When he was
later
active?
he was active, and he was actually using that space as somebody was there. And much later he knew who it was because of course the photo आया था.
Oh, that's
तो
scary,
अरे इसको
but
तो
my
देखा है
God,
ऊपर है
that's
ना.
scary. But since you spoke about it, I think I want to quickly bring you in here and talk about what you did in Guns and Gulabs.
Yeah.
Because that was just crazy. Also like उसके बारे में कुछ पता ही नहीं है. Like he's such a mystery in itself, and yet you're like, and full hero he is in his gait and whatever. But there it is. So I think it's very important.
Sanjay Dutt.
Full.
I think if you send me a script and the character's name read Char Kat Atmaram, I'm like, there's so much fun already.
I think any one of these actors would have been wonderful at that.
No.
part because-
What you did was.
Hey, that was my interpretation. ठीक है मैं मान लेता हूँ. लेकिन वो character ही इतना खूबसूरत बढ़िया था. I think anybody who wants to sink their teeth, उनको acting से या craft से प्रेम है तो वो आत्माराम अच्छा ही करेंगे. अगर आप I'll go as far as to saying कि आप एक नॉन एक्टर से भी करवाएंगे ना कुछ तो इम्पैक्ट जरूर रहेगा उसका, बिकॉज द राइटिंग ऑफ दैट कैरेक्टर इज स्पेशल. द टाइप ऑफ द कैरेक्टर, बिकॉज लिखा हुआ है मिस्टीरियस है, But with Raj and DK, they also almost make you like a co-writer. So they give you so much freedom to, interpret. वो चाकू का आइडिया, दांतों का, और बहुत सारा ये मेरी तरफ से गया था. बालों का आइडिया उनका था.
वो जो आंखों में चमक थी.
हाँ, वो तो बाद में डाला
वो
उन्होंने.
लिखा था नहीं लिखा नहीं.
I wanted lighter eyes, but they decided to have jet black eyes.
No, I'm talking about that. वो जो वो संपेरे है उसको जो देख रहे हैं ना, and वो आंखें चमकती हैं उसकी.
Suman also writes.
That was a you know like when I saw it like
नहीं वो तो स्क्रिप्ट में है.
The supernatural nature of this person was very interesting. I also found that interesting.
So when
they went there.
I did not make a single attempt to humanize him, which was exact opposite of what I did with Devilal.
Of course.
With Devilal, I was like the 5-year-old inside me wanted to do Singham. I had to curb that enthusiasm. पुलिस नौकरी है, पर्सनैलिटी नहीं है. पुलिस एक नौकरी होती है, पर्सनैलिटी को समझ पहले कि देवीलाल है कौन. So that was like you try and create the illusion of being a human being कि कैसा हो सकता है देवीलाल, क्या हाव भाव के बोलता कैसा होगा, हाथ कैसे चलाता होगा. तो बहुत कुछ मेरा इमेजिनेशन में ही है, क्योंकि शायद बिकॉज आई एम एन ओनली चाइल्ड, मैं अकेले में बहुत समय बिताया मैंने, बट इट्स बिकम एन एसेट टू माई वर्क, क्योंकि मैं बैठ के सोचता हूँ, मैं पढ़ता हूँ जितना ज़रूरी है, उसके बाद टू ट्रिगर माई इमेजिनेशन फिर सोचता हूँ. With Atmaram, it was like there was no question of me trying to humanizing him because it is completely a figment of somebody else's imagination.
Yes.
Or I am going to take that, put it in my head and imagine. So I imagined, I found one way. Initially मैंने सोचा एंटोन शिगुर पे मैं बेस करूँगा, वो initial inspiration था. लेकिन वहाँ से मतलब हाँ मतलब अंतरिक्ष की यात्रा करने लगा. नए नए ग्रहों को देखा मैंने, वो चल रहा था. So I just thought that I will behave like I'm in a western, like वो सर्जियो लेवन का western, वो स्पेगेटी वेस्टर्न है. आप देखेंगे ना, मेरे हाथ भी ऐसे हैं, like I'm a
Bolster नहीं है लेकिन हाथ है.
नहीं वहाँ पे रामपुरी है ना, इसलिए मैंने वो बूट पे रखो ऐसा. नहीं इधर ही रहेगा रामपुरी. मैंने जेब बनवाई उसके लिए कॉस्ट्यूम डिजाइनर से, बिकॉज आई वांटेड टू बिहेव लाइक अ गनस्लिंगर, एंड it's just completely cooked up in the heads of the directors, writers and me and whoever would throw in an idea. It was like that. There was
free for all.
And the fun is in not making it human, because it's just अजीब है वो, कुछ भी इधर है suddenly वो पीछे है. How do you explain that?
He's a thing. He's not
How do you
a person.
explain that?
He's not a person.
If I tried to humanize it and make him human ना, मजा नहीं आता लोगों को, because that's the sense, that's the requirement of the story as well.
Also, to humanize, don't you need enough information? I don't think you had enough. Like, did you have enough information?
There is some backstory about him. There is some backstory about him.
There was one Telugu dialogue.
वो तो था, स्क्रिप्ट में था, एक बैकस्टोरी भी स्क्रिप्ट में था. लेकिन ऐसे है ना, I'll give you an example of Heath Ledger's performance in The Dark Knight. हर बार अपने कैसे वो स्कार्स आया उसकी नई स्टोरी बताता. अब इसमें सच क्या है?
करेक्ट.
तो आई वॉज लाइक आत्माराम को भी ऐसे है, आई डोंट नो, मैंने प्ले किया आत्माराम, बट मुझे भी पता नहीं है कि क्या है सच. सब बकवास हो सकता है, सब सच भी हो सकता है, बट इसको जान के क्या करेंगे आप? कुछ मतलब नहीं बनता इसका.
बिल्कुल.
Can I say one thing?
Sure, of course.
Because आपने ये point किया, it was very interesting point you made about नौकरी and personality. Coming off of that, about Dahaad, I just wanted to say while we're here, I have a chance.
तारीफ ही कर रहे हो ना?
तारीफ ही करनी होना से. नहीं आपका वो जो
ये तो चार कट.
your चार कट आत्माराम. Your scene with your wife in that was so unexpected because I don't know, I didn't see that coming the way that it did. It was one of the most real and affecting scenes about of two spouses having a fight. It felt
It's a
personal,
mismatch.
it felt intimate, it felt real.
Yeah.
And it was, it's a mismatch. So that I love that he said that कि ये एक नौकरी है, personality नहीं. There's so many dimensions to every character.
But we do get carried away.
We get caught in one aspect.
I had to test for this part, and I heard कि the casting वालों ने बताया था कि रीमा ने तुम्हारा ऑडिशन देखने के बाद बोला था कि हाँ मिल गया और देखने की जरूरत नहीं है. तो कितना सच है मुझे पता नहीं, मुझे अच्छा लगा. So I actually asked रीमा कि what did you like about my audition? She's like, you're the only guy who wasn't trying to play it like a cop.
Right.
So that's the point.
Yeah.
Because my attempt was also कि ये कॉप तो अलग-अलग किस्म के कॉप हो सकते हैं ना. तो
This same thing happened to me recently. With not this same thing, but I asked the director why she chose. What did she like
because
in my
they
audition?
found this.
And something I didn't imagine only. My first project in the West, that Hollywood project that I'm doing with Susanna Bier. I asked her. I said, "What did you like about?" Because it could have been any person of any race, nationality, whatever. She said, "You have some intrinsic ability of being." I felt like you can be a happy guy. You can be happy.
Yeah.
Some people can't be happy.
Correct.
I was like,
That's
I didn't
so
say,
true.
I didn't, and the scene was something else. And
It's
some,
आदमी का सुर. हाँ.
this is weird. It's weird.
Well, you got it in you, man.
Because Zoya recently I read, I saw somewhere she said that when I met Vijay for Gully Boy, there was something very broken about this boy, and I wanted to cast him for.
She said that.
तो अर्जुन
She
के
said
बारे
that
में बोला
in an interview.
publicly, yeah.
अर्जुन
And
के
I saw
बारे में
that
बोला था.
clip. That clip was sent to me, and I was like, then I went back to my 2018 when I was auditioning. For
Right.
I was in tatters at that time. I had nothing going.
And she saw
no
that.
work. Every work was either meeting a roadblock or a failure.
Correct.
There was no room that wanted me inside. There was no red carpet where I was photographed. There was nothing. There was nothing in my life. You know, I was just an
Not even
invisible
me.
person.
मैं भी नहीं था तुम्हारी जिंदगी में.
हाँ, and then
जिंदगी गुलशन हो गई.
हाँ, उसके बाद
तो मतलब तुमने खेल दिया था.
So then she said, and I remembered, I think she saw that because when I went in for that audition, I was like, चलो ठीक है, और एक होएगा, इससे भी कुछ होने वाला है.
That's just
Given up on, you know, I was almost on the verge of, breaking.
But for Zoya to spot that, I think is incredible also.
No, but I didn't know that, people can see through this thing.
जब भी मैंने इसके साथ काम किया था इसमें ये मेन रोल कर रहा था. चिटगॉम.
My debut was Chittagong.
He was the main guy.
नहीं, इसने एक और फिल्म किया था, उसके लिए मैं करना चाहता था, लेकिन इसको मिला तो मेरी भी जली थी बहुत.
कौन सा सर?
Monsoon shoot out.
Oh, gee.
Okay.
But Ali, I'm going to get you in here. Of course, you know the question. We have never seen you in the kind of role that you did in Khufiya, right? And I said duality क्योंकि वो again, at some point you feel like नहीं यार, this doesn't look like he will do something like this. Look at like how he's such a green flagged person, so loving to the wife, you know. You played that so well.
Wife looked like a red flag.
100%.
देखो रिचा मेरी दोस्त है, उसके बारे में.
No, not in the film.
अरे मैं
Oh my God!
गया उधर गया.
अरे नहीं
निकल दिया उधर.
मैं अपने आप को बचा रहा हूँ क्योंकि मैंने देखी नहीं है
क्या
फिल्म.
happen है कि नहीं?
No, I was like something wrong with
Yeah.
for sure.
100%. Yeah, even I thought so. Correct. Even I thought so. जब देखने के बाद. But Ali will have to give us insight into that.
खींच दी उन्होंने फिल्म सर ने. हाँ.
He's like बहुत खींच दी सर ने फिल्म.
हाँ, बाकायदा बनाई है उन्होंने, बहुत लंबी बनाई है. The gaze for me is important.
Okay.
You can have a gaze and look at your character and that's fine, it can work for you. I sometimes become a 5-year-old of that person and look at everything. और उसकी दुनिया में कैसे क्या शुरुआत हुई होगी. I feel humanity, I don't know, we have to define that. We are all carnal nature. मतलब millions of years तक तो हमने सिर्फ मारकाट हुई है ना civilization में. The culture then came. Then we became civilized people. Values came in. This is not very old. So actually, at the heart of it, I'm saying ये सारे receptors जो value receptors जो नहीं होते हैं, they just allow then serial killers to come in or be born.
Yeah.
We are inherently. The nicest person has the most
Of course.
violent side to him or her. You know.
Yeah.
We have learned over the years how to suppress it and live like civilians in civilized manners.
So you're conditioned because of the family.
We are
because of your
conditioned. And that's
upbringing
fine.
and education.
Agriculture
No,
came and
it's
everything
useful.
became whatever.
That conditioning and that fact that we suppress the monster is useful to us as society
Of
because we
course.
can live and
That's why we-
coexist.
Well, yeah, but we all found
But it
we
is
all
also
find
defined
outlets.
and given by somebody else. Conscience, I don't know if conscience existed, say, 2000.
What was it?
What was it? Killing was normal in
Killing
medieval
was
times.
normal. भाई bread लाना है. और bread, I'm breadwinner. I'm not even the guy who runs the household. It's the women. right? And they run the whole
Are you
show.
talking about alpha men here particularly?
हाँ वो तो अलग कुछ मतलब
अलग ही
वो
बात
अलग बात है.
उसमें एक अलग से एक
Yeah, yeah, वो अलग round
वो
table
नया
है.
marketing word है आजकल.
But to answer your question,
Yeah.
I have to justify that as that person. हम सब हीरो हैं अपनी जिंदगियों में.
जी बिल्कुल.
तो फिर I can't at some point, which I might be maybe not disagreeing, but शायद अलग कि I can't disagree with him. Every choice that he makes. Now spy world में आपके नजरिए से ये गद्दार है उसको बोलती है एक
जी,
टाइम
बिल्कुल.
पे. मेरे नजरिए से नहीं है. वो 20 साल आगे की सोच रहा है. वो तो सोच रहा है, वो तो अफगानिस्तान का पूरा चिट्ठा दिखा रहा है उसमें. And we wrote that. We wrote that into the part. I said, why are you just because villain है तो villain है. वो भी तो हकता है. मतलब उसको भी issues हैं लाइफ में जो भी है. So like Mirzapur, I thought was, you know, at first everybody's about looks, right? How we should look. And I thought like my biggest thing was I want to run away from that and make people pull them into this guy's head. And it's always fun when you're in my little toyland. Then I can play. Then I'm having fun.
We had a lot of fun in Mirzapur. For
Yeah, that was
sure.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because you mentioned that ki about the consciousness and about whatever, but you know, in this table right now, we always talk about, you know, men written by women are beautiful, but there are also some characters that have been written by men here, you know, that are fantastic and that have shown layers of masculinity. I had a small discussion with Manoj on this, that for me one of the favorite aspects of his character in Joram was the way he was with his wife and the way he was as a man. He was so secure even though he was fighting for his life. And broken down masculinity for you, for even his character. Like he tries to control his sister, you know, eventually, and the sister comes and says, ki, who are you to sort of decide what is right for me and wrong? So, and it's interesting because you're supposed to be this person who's in the army and masculine and takes charge, right? Like that's what you think of it. So I want to know your take on this, especially, you know, I mentioned Manoj's and I had loved that answer even then that you've given me. Your take on this, that the layers of, besides he being who he is, उसकी journey जो क्या है, मर्दांगी को किस तरह से divide किया गया है, the layers that have been put into it and shown what a man is. So if you could...
Ali said something very, you know, very correctly, that, you know, it's all about gaze. The film which has really instigated this debate has a director who, you know, believes completely differently.
Yeah.
So that's his gaze, okay? And Joram is another gaze, which is directed by Devashish Makhija, where all of us who are there are completely in agreement with him.
Sure.
But he's not doing it just for the sake of the thing that
Token
no,
tokenism
no,
नहीं है,
there's no tokenism here.
बिल्कुल.
So his interpretation is, if this man is actually behind a woman and the woman is taking all the decision for him, he doesn't even have a voice.
जी.
Okay, when he's sitting in a panchayat where they're talking about the land and the contract, all of the Aadhaar card and PAN card, this man is in the right behind the woman. A woman is very vocal, and now that woman is gone from his life. As it is, he didn't have a voice without her, and now that woman is gone from his life. So there's a voiceless man and there's a voiceless baby on the run.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so that was the idea. And I have seen this in my own family. My father, all my life. I mean, we had 6 children. I mean, you can ask any of my brothers and sisters, they will say the same thing. My mother used to be the alpha female. Okay, that, you know, everyone talks about alpha male.
Take charge and stuff.
My mother, even in her last days, you know, she was so independent, she was so forthright, she hated to be dependent on anyone, even in her last days. And she was asking my sister to give her poison so that she can die, because she was hating the fact that she's dependent on her children.
Yeah.
So I'm from that family. I'm brought up by that mother. So I don't know any other way. So again, it comes to conditioning. what he was talking about.
Yeah.
So it's all about gaze at the end of the day. So if I am part of some film, and where some kind of things are being projected or being played out which is not in agreement with my conditioning,
Correct.
I'll object to it
Immediately.
immediately. Whether I'm right or not, I don't know, but it is not in agreement with me. I don't see it that way.
Correct.
Not because it's a moral issue or a social issue. It's not something I have experienced. It's not something which suits my gaze.
Correct.
Okay, Joram, in all that respect, I just loved it.
I love it.
So like, what's the most uncomfortable character you've played? क्योंकि आपको नहीं लगा मैं ये
नहीं, जब अनकंफर्टेबल होता है तो मैं आई जस्ट पुट
नहीं
माई फुट
करूँगा।
डाउन, ऐसे कि नहीं बॉस, ये तो करूँगा ही नहीं मैं.
But sometimes halfway through
You
it,
know,
you
halfway
feel-
through, just now we were shooting a film, Bhaiya Ji, and it is our take on commercial films and mainstream films, and the women's characters were half-baked. So the director and us, I mean, we really sat down and we thrashed it out. बहुत ऐसा नहीं हो सकता, ये हो ही नहीं सकता. I mean, even if it is a mainstream cinema, we have to sit down and we have to thrash it out.
That's a writing
And let's
problem,
postpone those sequences. Let's postpone these sequences, make them equal stakeholders in the script. Then only we can move ahead. So so I don't know. I'm not going to say that we are this or that.
Of course.
But at the end of the day, the film which is instigating this topic is the biggest blockbuster.
Sure.
So and that means at the end of the day, it's not about alpha male, it's not about anything else. If your film is not engaging, it's everything just falls flat. Even if you are trying to say something really amazing about the society, about the world, and if the film is not engaging, film is not good, the whole messaging is all, it falls flat.
You know this already, but I just want to say it out loud again, that how much I respect for what you just said. It's just incredible to do it. I mean, in a business where money is such a factor, where you're supposed to build a brand, the fact that you said this, you already know it, but just hats off. You were saying something, no? I'm sorry, you were saying something.
No, I'm saying it should be the norm, it should be the way that it is, but just by virtue of the fact कि कितने कम लोग ऐसे सोचते हैं और करते हैं, it's really applaudable that they sat down and stalled the shoot because there's money and things riding on you. नहीं करते हैं लोग. They stalled the shoot to flesh out the characters, चाहे male हो, female हो, but just to do that, and
हम लोग एक बड़े ही डिफरेंट टाइम में रह रहे हैं. ये 70s का ज़माना है नहीं कि लड़कियां आती थी नाचती थी या जस्ट लव इंटरेस्ट होती थी. जैसे मेरा बंदा का डायरेक्टर कहता है ना, ये कुंडी खड़काने वाला रोल नहीं है. कहते कुंडी खड़क मतलब कि हेलो, अरे आ गए आप, आइए खाना लग गया है.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 males sitting over here who have the male का क्या होता है XY chromosome. सही होता ना?
हाँ, मेल का XY होता है.
XY. I am assuming कि सारा XY है. If you ask me to define masculinity, I think I'd find it very difficult to define my masculinity. नहीं होगा मुझसे.
नहीं होगा, बिल्कुल
और
सही कह रहा
हर
है.
किसी सबकी masculinity अलग है.
बिल्कुल.
So it's really, I think कई बार क्या होता है ना कि हम किसी चीज को लेके
blanket statement.
हाँ, वो जनरलाइज, वो बाइनरीज में देखने लगते हैं कि ऐसा ही है. This is masculinity, this is
absolutely.
ये तो सारी फसाद का जड़ यही है कि वो ग्रेडेशन, वो ग्रे जोन में जाने ही नहीं देते. हर चीज को मतलब एक क्लियर डेफिनेशन, ये दायरे में
यही है.
तो नहीं हो पाता ना. लाइक सीरियसली विल ऑल हैव अ वेरी डिफरेंट वर्जन फॉर आवर मैस्कुलिनिटी, और एक दूसरे से अलग होगा. शक्ल सूरत से ही अलग है और मिजाज से भी अलग होगा, और हमारी अंडरस्टैंडिंग में भी अलग सोच विचार होंगे.
Also this word alpha, the guy who did research on wolves and came to this conclusion back in the day कि there is one leader in the pack of wolves who does everything and everybody follows him. Years later he said that theory was wrong. There is no such concept. Everybody has their shared responsibility. So that concept got he disagreed with his own concept, but the word got picked up, and because it favors a lot of
Personality types.
sides. So they picked up it's like conflicts are good. It's a marketing thing.
The core of what we do is what they just said. He said gaze, perspective, nazariya, आप जो कहना चाहें. That's what we do. We try and it's self-expression. You express yourself and your complexities and your layers and everything through what we do. In the hope that someone somewhere will, you know, some films find more takers, some find less, some stories, but somewhere people can align and connect and relate, and it's very liberating. As an audience, that's what films did to me. That's why I wanted to do this.
Yeah.
No, but even yours, right? I mentioned, and I want yours also because your character has that element in him as well. But even yours, right? Like there is so interesting that interaction that you show with your sister that we were discussing as well. I want you to, you know, tell me about how
I think it was written into the script, and I think it was partly how it was largely Raja sir's perspective, and he's a very gentle man and he's a thinker, and it's very subtly said. We spoke about this, we had a one-on-one interview. It's very subtly said. You see the character just reflect on it. It's as simple as that. वो आके कहती है कि तुम क्या कर रहे हो? तुम कहते हो कि राम भैया मतलब तुम्हारे बाप बनने की कोशिश करते हैं, and you have a problem with that. So what are you doing to me? You are squashing me. You are, you know, suppressing me and my individuality and my, you know, personality. So that's that.
But you know, I love that in his character. वो evolve करने का दिखा रहा है कि you have to give people. No, nobody is perfect, right? वो गलतियाँ करेगा, उससे सीखेगा. So at least that I felt like was necessary. Otherwise, you're either expecting perfect men or the opposite end.
I think घूम फिर के वही है. The extreme being fascism
correct.
of childhood daddy traumas. है ना? अब स्पेक्ट्रम में आप खेलिए या कोई ट्रॉमा.
अब तो childhood mother trauma.
सब वहीं से आ रहा है ना, सब सारा खेल वहीं से आ रहा है. Even he has this thing with his brother and his father. इसका जो character था पूरा in the film.
My whole makeup of my personality, everything, and this may be far too personal thing to say, but Sir said it, is being raised by my single mother. And I was very moved by what Sir said, because I really felt that, Sir.
Count me in. I'm single mother.
I think we have.
मेरे पिताजी तो मतलब ऐसे थे कि चुपचाप, मतलब कोई voice ही नहीं था.
But my father was an alpha male. My father was a very strict, dominating, looming figure in the house. My father.
Okay.
So-called alpha male. But mother is why we became what we became.
Oh, lovely.
You know.
And that is not to discredit.
No, I'm just saying. I'm saying what I wanted to say that somewhere, you know, I find more strength in my mom. In her silence, in her love, and there's more strength there, and that's something that I read as a kid. This is more favorable for your overall well-being.
That's something that he said so nicely. I mean, just now it's gonna struck me. So now the same parents have 3 children.
Correct.
Vijay has that gaze and that reference that he remembers.
Yeah.
His another sibling will have a different reference, different gaze altogether.
Bilkul.
Okay, so that is so interesting. It is always up to the individual what he is interested in, and how he is interested in look at the
Absolutely, and you make those decisions very early on. When
So
you're
true.
a child.
Bilkul. But
पूछिए.
About your character, the cop.
कौन सी वाली?
Not a top. Guns and Gulabs तो हम discuss नहीं कर रहे हैं.
Which exceptional performance of mine are you speaking of?
They are all exceptional. I would say Devaiah is a progressive man,
He was.
but not in a way that is very popular. मतलब progressive man ये सोच के एक जो image बनता है, जो popular image बनता है, वो नहीं है. देसी आदमी है वो. तो एक तो इसका पूरा श्रेय जो है वो राइटर्स को ही जाएगा, बिकॉज उन्होंने सारे सीन्स लिखे हुए. अनलाइक द प्रोसेस विद राजन डीके, दिस वाज फॉर मी ट्राइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड द स्क्रिप्ट एंड द सीन्स एंड व्हाट यू आर ट्राइंग टू से. उसमें से वो किरदार निकला. तो जब राइटिंग अच्छी होती है तो बहुत सारी चीज़ें पढ़ते पढ़ते आपको समझ आता है. देन वो कैसे बोलेगा, हाव भाव, वो एक्सटर्नल एलिमेंट्स, वो हमारे आइडियाज़ और ये आइडियाज़ फ्यूज होके फिर वो देवीलाल का एक इल्यूजन बनाते हैं मिलके.
My reading was after Devilal will come out.
अरे
He'll
खत्म
get a
नहीं
lot
हो
of-
रहे.
Please continue. Sorry. आप कुछ कह रहे थे. Sorry.
Sorry, बेचारा. But I want to hear this also because this is another funny
I told
anecdote.
him when I saw the show, I'm like,
Yeah.
you will get a lot of marriage proposals after this.
Yeah, I remember it.
नहीं वो
And
तो
he
हाँ.
got-
But it was so lovely. The
was such a
character
lovely
is
man.
so, yeah, lovely man.
Lovely
Manoj also
progressive.
like, yes, lovely.
You know, and he just, when you look at his performance, he just surrendered.
सर का
Yeah.
फोन आया था.
हाँ, surrendered.
So
ऐसे
you got a
surrender
call
किया
from-
था.
He called.
इसको भी किया था, इसको भी किया था मैंने.
He called.
है ना?
He saw it. So I was like, firstly, I don't want to assume कि ऐसा कोई आदमी जो ये शहर इनका वो एक जो होता है ना, जो हम तो बड़े क्लासिस्ट हैं इस देश में.
100%.
फिल्म सेट पे भी क्लासेस होते हैं उनके, उसके हिसाब से वो डिनर लंच ये सब होता है. एनीवे, तो ये समझ में आता है हमको. तो द मोमेंट आई वाज लाइक, व्हाई शुड आई अज्यूम कि ऐसा आदमी के सोच विचार ऐसे नहीं है. खुद के हो सकते हैं, शायद इसकी फैमिली में इसकी अपब्रिंगिंग अलग ही रही होगी, लेकिन ये थोड़ा अलग सोचता है. एंड ही इज ऑल्सो ट्राइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड द बेसिक प्रिंसिपल ऑफ देवीलाल इज दिस मच. एक सेंटेंस है, व्हाट इज द राइट थिंग टू डू. ये हमेशा वो खुद को पूछता है विद एवरीथिंग, एंड देन ही फाइंड्स द आंसर्स. सो ये मेरे लिए बेसिक प्रिंसिपल था. तो बेटी के साथ में वो सोचा होगा उसने कि व्हाट्स द राइट थिंग टू डू. नहीं, उसका आंसर ये था कि नहीं, साथ देना चाहिए, ठीक है, बीवी को संभाल लेंगे जैसे तैसे करके. बेटे के साथ में वो कांड होता है, वहां तो कान पकड़ता है, लेकिन घर में आके जो जिस तरह से बात करता है ना, आई रियली लव दैट सीन. बिकॉज बहुत सारे लोगों को ना अपना घर एक सेफ स्पेस नहीं होता है बच्चों के लिए.
बिल्कुल.
अगर वो सेफ स्पेस बन जाएगा ना, बहुत सारी चीजें ठीक हो जाएंगी दुनिया में. दैट सीन वाज representative of that. It was a step towards that.
So well
creating
said.
that.
So
ये
well
राइटिंग
said.
में है, ये मैंने समझा
Yeah,
इसको,
so
बट
well
मैंने
said.
समझा इसीलिए क्योंकि ये लिखा गया था ये.
जी.
और पढ़ने के बाद मैंने ये समझा कि that's it, as a father और as a parent और as parents और as brothers and sisters, सबके लिए अगर एक घर, गलतियां सबसे होती है ना, तो if it can be a safe space.
Yeah.
But we are so scared. कुछ चीज़ों को हम like अपने माँ बाप के साथ नहीं शेयर ही नहीं कर पाते.
बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल. But on that note, I can carry on, but they all have to go. So I'll come to my last segment, which is my absolutely favorite segment.
Which about each other?
I wish I had one person.
ये पूरा ये कैमरा पे इसके लिए करेंगे.
I'm having such a great time, but of course, all of them have to go. So, and they're already laughing, but they've been gracious enough to share their stories. And so I will now come to my last segment. My last segment is extremely interesting. I call it AMA, Ask Me Anything for Actors by Actors. All the actors in the table have submitted 2 questions. It's in that bowl. One is going to be read out separately. I'll tell you why. And now we're going to pass in the bowl around. One chit will be picked up, and then we'll guess who's written the question and what the answer is going to be, whoever picks up that chit. So, are we ready?
Yeah.
Chit.
But, but before
Cheating allowed है, cheating.
cheating allowed है. Okay, but before हम ये बोल वास करें, Mr. Manoj Bajpayee has written specific questions for 2 actors. So that I'm not going to add in the bowl, and I'm going to read it out.
Okay.
And so here I go, Manoj.
Yeah.
I have the permission. Okay, here I go. This one is for Vijay Varma.
Oh, what a surprise.
Ultimate खुरापात. That's ultimate खुरापात. पहली story बोल देता हूँ इसको.
I love it.
Yeah.
You're a very good actor, that we all know. But who designs your clothes? I think it's, I love it.
सर डिजाइन तो बहुत लोग करते हैं हमारे लिए, बट
लेकिन मैं होता हूँ जो कंट्रोल करता हूँ.
हाँ, स्टाइलिस्ट एक है.
हाँ.
मैं उनसे मिलाता हूँ आपको.
मिला दो.
भाई नाम बोल दे.
Brinda Naran.
And you're enjoying this phase also, no? Of styling.
But today it's all me.
हाँ,
This is
this is like
Me too.
coffee shop.
This is the only time I like hearing me too.
मैं तो हमें
ईशान कुछ कह रहा है. ईशान कुछ कह रहा
नहीं
है.
मैं कह रहा सर मेरा भी एक इंटरप्रिटेशन है आपके सवाल का.
हाँ, बोलो.
जो खुराफाती है.
हाँ.
You are a very good actor.
हाँ.
Question mark.
Question mark है?
वो भी खुराफाती है, अलग किस्म का।
No, just now I was in the bathroom. He started correcting my jacket. I said, "Wow, this guy is really good. This guy is really good. He knows stuff."
सर मैं अगर एक्टर नहीं होता तो आप मुझे हायर कर सकते थे, बट मेरी बहुत अच्छी चल रही है सर।
इसको मैं I can't call him by his normal name. I call him sexy. बस ये हाँ जहाँ he gets embarrassed also. मैं
हम भी बुलाते
public
थे
में
एक
चिल्ला
जमाने
देता
में,
हूँ।
हम भी बुलाते थे एक जमाने में।
हमें भी बुलाते थे।
नहीं
हम भी ये दर्जा मुझे दे दिया गया है।
दगाबाजी की मेरे साथ, ठीक है, इश्क मेरे साथ किया लेकिन किसी और के साथ।
सारे डायलॉग इम्प्रोवाइज कर रहे हैं। My mom said this about you. I told you this. I think you know it. Gully Boy में the entry, the opening of the film.
Correct.
She said the only boy I've seen who has a John Travolta like walk. Travolta. She said that word. She's like मैं तो तभी उसके fan हो गई थी.
Best compliment I've ever seen.
She said, yeah, it's epic.
Yeah.
It's epic. It's epic. She said it in the opening only. She said I can already tell ये कमाल का actor है लड़का. Just the walk.
And she told me again at Pippa screening, she's fab. I love her.
Sorry यार, मेरे पास ना।
So you gotta do some Saturday Night Live.
Okay. The next question is for Ali Fazal.
What a surprise.
मेरे लिए क्या पूछेंगे आप?
I am
Manoj,
stunned.
Gulshan is very hurt that you've not written a question.
दो ही लोगों से पूछना था। मैंने चारों को दिया था। उन्होंने कहा कि दो ही पूछेंगे हम।
अच्छा।
Manoj sir only looks left. तो मैं गलत जगह बिठा दिया आपने।
Okay, here it goes. Is it true?
Oh no.
Is it true that you already bought a house in LA and how do you manage
अरे
both
यार।
the worlds?
नहीं, इतने रईस नहीं है। नहीं ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। मैं
लीज पे लिया है
तो उन पैसों का क्या किया जो वहाँ से मिला?
वो तो डॉलर में आता है
सर ऑफशोर में
वो तो उसका जीएसटी भी नहीं लगता है।
जीएसटी भी नहीं लगता है उसका।
वो है कहीं पल रहे हैं वो।
उग रहे
नहीं लिया।
हाँ
केमन आइलैंड्स,
नहीं यार, you mad about it? इतना
केमन आइलैंड्स में डोमिनिकन।
Second
When
part
you
of
walked in, did you think this conversation would have tax implications?
पनामा।
Because it can.
Imagine watching this, I get like sorry, I don't want to give any idea.
इड़ी
चुप रहे यार।
Gulshan.
No.
भाई ये मत बोल यार, ऐसे मत बोल भाई।
आप लोग क्यों डर रहे हो गुरु?
Edit.
इसलिए
ये लोग बहुत ही अच्छे लोग।
Universe cancel.
But the second part of the question is that he asked is how do you manage both the worlds?
I can't. I'm struggling.
Please, huh?
मुझे सब लोग को लगता है मैं यहाँ पे बड़ा ढीठ सा आदमी बैठा हूँ जिसको काम नहीं करना है एंड और वो बढ़ जाता है मेरा।
What I completely understand.
Yeah.
अब मतलब मैं तो मेरे एजेंट और मेरे जो मैनेजर है वो दोनों जो है उन्होंने गिव अप कर दिया है कि इस आदमी को इंटरेस्ट नहीं है हमारी तरफ काम का। मैंने कहा कि कैसे, मतलब अच्छा रोल आ रहा है, तू कह रहा है 6 महीने यहाँ बैठ जा।
This year, actually, this is what I did. I said, okay, fine. You know, I'm all yours. और इधर मैंने ना कर दिया to people who I've like spoken to for years. You know, I'm like, yes, I'm very excited and brilliant directors and all that. वहाँ हो गई strike. So everything now like pushed to this
But at
coming
least
year.
you are in a very good position right now from India. He's one talent who is in a very good position. He has really given so much time. He has already done so many things. He has line of films to really fall back upon in terms of memory or reference. His agent and his manager must be having a field day now.
but yeah,
वो बहुत जरूरी है उधर पूरा टाइम नहीं दोगे कुछ नहीं होता है।
Irfan Saab was navigating very well.
Yeah.
And
नो बट वो बेटर रहता था। इरफान के साथ ये था कि वो बेटर रहता था, वो उधर ही चला जाता था, वो उधर ही रहता था वो। मेरे साथ में क्या है कि यार कितने सालों के बाद तो अच्छे काम मिल रहे हैं। पता चला कि सब छोड़ जाके बैठ गए। मैं मतलब बॉस अभी 3 महीने के लिए आ जाऊंगा मैं फिर, लेकिन उसके बाद ये काम आ रहा है, मैं आ जाऊंगा इधर। बिकॉज यार पता नहीं, he has his age on his side I don't have my age on my side.
Sir,
भैया,
ये तो मत ही बोलिए.
Sir, you have your age on your side, sir.
आपको पता है आप क्या क्या करने वाले हो आगे, ठीक है?
Okay, so यहीं से start करते हैं. I'm going to give this
ये
coveted
ये
goal.
बाउल का मूवमेंट
यहाँ से.
अली से शुरू होगा.
चलो, हाँ मैंने चीज खाई है.
ये you know इसका best part ये है सर कि ये जोक किसी को नहीं समझ में आएगा.
नहीं आया बिल्कुल. ऐसे कैसे नहीं आएगा बाउल मूवमेंट?
बहुतों को नहीं आता. ये लो आपको बाउल में खिला रहा हूँ.
हाँ लोग नॉर्मली
इसने
प्रोनाउंसिएशन
ट्राई
बाउल
किया
करते हैं.
है, इसने ट्राई किया. भाई तो तू स्पीच सर वो नंबर दीजिए इनको.
विनीत का नंबर देता हूँ.
Okay, तो आपने ये चेयर उठाई है, ठीक
क्या
है? Which according to you, a character or movie, actually, you know, even others can join in, that you believed a lot in, but wasn't accepted at all by the audiences or by the critics.
Okay, twofold. I believed a lot in actually my recent this Khufiya. Not that it wasn't accepted, I didn't see it come out, flesh out the way I saw it, the way I saw it in script. It was a brilliantly written piece. मतलब मैंने ऐसा character I think देखा नहीं है being played out in cinema. So I felt it fell short of that. And yeah. Critics के लिए I don't know what to say. I mean,
You can answer.
Why would I answer that
On
question?
others'
But
part,
Manoj, you were saying
I'll
something
answer
on it.
Yeah, but Chittagong. I mean, my film Chittagong.
So our बोल दो.
Our. Yeah, Vijay was playing the main lead in that one. No. See, that's true. It was from his perspective and his younger version perspective. But that film, I thought that it would be accepted either by the audience or by the critics. It didn't find its, by at all.
Only person who benefited that film, from that film was Anurag Kashyap.
On Rakesh.
Because he took all the cast of this Chittagong and put it in Gangs of Wasseypur.
Gangs of Wasseypur.
He said the same thing
Yeah.
to me in the airport the other day.
सबका जो है बिकॉज वो गैंग्स ऑफ वासेपुर की कास्टिंग हो रही थी. उसने मुझे कहा कि बाजू भाई आप मुझे बताओ एक्टर्स. मैंने कहा चिटागोंग के जयदीप विजय को सबको लेके आ जा. हाँ ना, सबके सब बहुत बढ़िया. लकी फॉर जयदीप बिकॉज ही गॉट द मीटिएस्ट वन एंड Rajkumar was there in second part. And few more actually. Nawaz got, but Nawaz is somebody that Anurag always knew about him.
मुझे तो उससे मोहब्बत हुई थी.
हाँ.
न्यूयॉर्क में भी एक बहुत थोड़ा
न्यूयॉर्क में क्या कमाल सीन किया था उसने.
तो रुला दिया था.
Amazing.
That man, my God.
कौन सा?
मैंने ऋचा को उसी में देखा था मैंने पहली दफा.
वही मोहब्बत हुई थी.
वही मोहब्बत हुई इससे.
खेल गई थी वो.
अच्छा
She was
अच्छा
exceptional.
इसमें गैंग्स ऑफ वासेपुर में देखिए. अरे क्या तोड़ फोड़ उसकी.
मुझे तो
Sorry, massive.
No, but
No, she was
वही लकी
amazing.
में I had like greatest regard.
You say me?
No, I just had never seen someone
You
do
say
that
that.
range.
Yeah.
बोर्नविटा बना रही है.
That
From the first to second, yeah.
हाँ, like भाई कुछ और चल रहा है.
All right, moving on. You'll have to pick it. Can we?
या हम दोनों के लिए नहीं है क्या वो?
अरे इस बार हम यहाँ से ले रहे हैं ना.
Something that you believed in and
आप भी
wasn't
बोल
accepted.
सकते हो.
कुछ नहीं है यार मेरा सब वैसे.
इनके सब एक्सेप्ट होते हैं.
बोलिए.
ईशान बोलो ना.
अभी भी शुरू है करने दे उसको. Yeah, see.
See?
Yeah, if you have, I was just kidding.
If you have, we're moving on. No?
No, I'm okay.
I think anything of mine that's not been accepted by any audience or critics so far, I think somewhere in the process my belief wavered. I felt something was wrong. So I'm not to say that that anyone picks anything because you believe in it in the beginning. There is conviction and belief when you hear a script, but somewhere in the process I had a feeling, like before release, I had a feeling कि नहीं यार कुछ तो ये सही से नहीं, energies were not right or something. Otherwise, I've also been quite lucky. Some of my early work has been received well also. So.
Yeah, to answer my own question. So yeah, it's okay computer because that's a show. I felt like मैंने देखने के बाद डिसाइड सोचा था कि ये अगर चल गया तो मजा आ जाएगा. And I felt like चल सकता है. But I was shocked to see that critics were panning it. Some people understand it, but I was very shocked. I still feel like it's a brilliant show. I still feel the same way.
That was good. I like it very much.
Okay. What is
ये अच्छा क्वेश्चन है.
Something that
That's yours?
scares you the most as a performer.
Yeah, what? कुछ नहीं ना.
नहीं है, मतलब एक तो ये डर हमेशा लगा रहता है कि what if just people start not liking your work anymore? I don't know. I have this fear
But
that
any
people will
character
just
you
like,
think that you would be very
no,
hard?
I've been looking at them and walking straight into the
Right.
into the fear, into the danger.
Like-
I feel like that helps me.
But there is fear, and sometimes you do it because also, and you walk right into it also.
Yeah, I feel
to
like the
overcome
only
it.
way you can expand your arsenal is when you go into the
But
unknown.
greatest
Yeah, that's
fear.
fearful.
Like
Greatest
that comes to mind.
Mm,
ये करने से डरता हूँ, या ये होने से, करने से या होने से डरता हूँ.
As a performer, basically, the scariest thing.
मुझे तो लगता है कभी कभी कि यार अगले दिन उठूंगा कुछ भी सब कुछ गलत होने वाला है. मतलब आज जब सब भूल गए, खत्म. That's it. You exhausted yourself. That's it. और वो आएगा, सबका आता है.
Expression खत्म.
सबका आता है. और
कि जब सेट पे जाओगे अगले दिन
नहीं
कुछ हो
होगा, नहीं होगा. और वो सबका आता है. That's the truth. ये एक ऐसा परमानेंट ट्रूथ है जो कि हर क्रिएटिव आदमी के साथ, दिलीप साहब के साथ आया,
जी,
है ना?
बिल्कुल.
तो ब्रांडों के साथ आया, सबके साथ आता है. वेयर यू जस्ट रीच दैट स्टेज एंड इधर you
Exhausted.
just don't feel like going there. You don't feel that you want to do this. And the thing which you have given your life for, you have sacrificed everything for this. You sacrificed your parents' company, you sacrificed all your comfort, everything you sacrificed, whatever you can imagine. And then suddenly there comes an age where you feel that you don't want to go there. I'm done. I'm done. I know I have made a lot more, but I'm done with it. So that
It's tragic.
That's a nightmare.
Tragic. Also tragic is when you're not allowed.
yeah, you are not allowed.
When you're not loud is worse.
It's the
Worse.
it's
That's
also
worse.
very tragic.
That's
So,
worse.
Like,
yeah,
I
I
want-
think these tragedies are scary.
Yeah. I want to play a drunkard. That's something करने में मुझे बड़ा डर लगता है. On a very superficial.
Right.
Yeah. I was also scared before Darlings to play a drunkard, but then
Yeah, you did very well.
we had so many levels of different kinds of substances and abuses that he went through that I feel like the drunken had to keep the minimum.
I
क्योंकि
love
उसके बाद में
watching people
स्लीपिंग का है, उसके बाद में एंटी साइकोटिक ड्रग्स है, उसके बाद में स्लीपलेसनेस, एंटी साइकोटिक ड्रग, डबल डोज. There were so many other kinds of intoxicants that I was dealing with as a performer. I had to keep the alcohol to the bare minimum. नहीं तो if I commit to this, then what will happen then?
Right.
So yeah, you have to chart that.
And
Anyway,
experience-wise, there's always something that's out of your ambit, right? Like,
yeah. We will always come
something,
across
some
it.
substance. Like I have done drunk scenes in the show we did together. Never been high on alcohol.
Yeah.
I don't know the feeling, so I had to find my feeling and I had to stay in it. Just
Interesting.
It's creating an illusion.
तुमको करप्ट होना बाकी है बच्चे.
What is the greatest fear as a performer, guys? Just one word.
Fear.
said
Rejection. I said drunkard. यार
Drunkard.
मुझे डर लगता है as an actor.
Right.
वो दूसरी चीज़ बहुत
mine is same as what he said.
No.
The
feeling of never
no,
wanting-
and being disabled, like not being allowed to.
Perform.
That my ego will destroy me.
Yeah.
That's such a honest thing to say also.
So that's very good.
Very honest thing to say. Okay, can we please pass the word to
लीजिए,
Manoj? And can I, if you can't understand handwriting, please tell me.
You
out.
What's the most truthful and or memorable moment you have?
सर इनसे पहले गेस कीजिए किसने पूछा ये.
तुम नहीं पूछा.
नहीं.
Yeah, Ishaan.
नहीं मैंने आपने आधा पढ़ा तो I was like यार ये तो पूरा सवाल नहीं है.
नहीं लिखा हुआ.
What's the most
have a bad book of
truthful?
it.
What's the most truthful and or memorable moment that you shared with another actor?
There are many actually, because mostly I work with actors because I like to work in an atmosphere where it's all about collaboration.
Correct.
And what really scares me is the atmosphere where everybody is going back to their vans and less on interaction with each other. I find it very difficult to work there. And if I'm the senior most, I make it sure that all of us eat together and all of us, are with each other and helping each other. I mean, many. Most of my co-actors, because I sit with them and I am very, very truthful with them. I don't mind sharing my life with anyone. Actually, अब तो कुछ रहा नहीं है छुपाने के लिए, क्या है मतलब ऐसा कुछ फियर रहा नहीं है, अब क्या उखाड़ लोगे वो वाला चक्कर हूँ अब इस जिंदगी के वो जो है वो जो हाँ सो बट मुझे लगता है कि हम सब लोगों को ये जल्दी हो जाए तो ज़्यादा अच्छा रहता है कि व्हेन यू कम टू टर्म्स विद योर ओन ट्रूथ और फियर, मतलब यू कन्फ्रंट योर ओन फियर. जान लेगा तो क्या हो जाएगा यार, मेरी जिंदगी के बारे में ये जान लेगा तो क्या हो जाएगा.
So then you don't care really, honestly.
No, I don't care.
Yeah.
You are much better human
Mental
being.
peace.
And you are at peace.
But it's a gift, sir.
हैं?
बहुत कम लोग ऐसा करते हैं. It's a gift.
पहले नहीं था मैं ऐसा, बिल्कुल नहीं था. मतलब I must confess, I was not like this. I was very guarded, very guarded. हाँ.
I think being a girl dad helped.
हाँ. I think
बेटी
so.
हो गई.
Yeah, बेटी हो गई. और फिर बेटी हो गई.
I think it really changes something.
Yeah.
फिर हम बेटी के बाप बन गए.
हाँ. तो मेरी बेटी जो है एक अभी फिल्म देख रही थी आज, वो आर्चीज. तो उसने कहा कि ज़्यादातर तो आजकल बच्चे अंग्रेजी में बोलते हैं ना, तो वो उसको डांट रहा था कि यार तुम हिंदी में बोला करो, तुम देखो यार.
हर चीज देख के आपने डांट लिया.
तो मुझसे मैं हिंदी में बात करता हूँ.
इसका हिंदी डब लगाओ.
Then फिर क्या हुआ?
मैंने कहा देखो ये देखो तुम ना बदमाश आदमी देखो. तो उसने कहा ओके. तो मैंने कहा कि हाउ यू लाइकिंग इट. तो ओके. अब मैं तब तक 50 मिनट देख चुका. अच्छा आर्चीज इज नॉट यार मेरे ग्रोइंग अप ईयर्स का पार्ट नहीं है आर्चीज. मेरा मोटू पतलू है. और राम बलराम ये सब कुछ हुआ करते थे. तो मेरे और आर्चीज का एक कभी कॉमिक्स पढ़ा होगा, मैंने पढ़ा होगा, मुझे बेटी वेरोनिका मुझे याद था, लेकिन ये भी देख रही थी पर शी इज ऑल्सो नॉट रेड इट. आर्चीज मैं किसी भी समय पे आर्चीज देखने के मेरा नहीं था कभी भी. अब मैं अपनी बेटी के कान देख रहा हूँ. फिर मैंने उसको कहा तो देखा ये लोग बोल रहे हैं हिंदी, तुमको भी हिंदी बोलनी पड़ेगी. तो कहती है व्हाट इज योर प्रॉब्लम डैड, व्हाट इज योर प्रॉब्लम, प्लीज लेट मी वॉच द फिल्म. मैंने कहा अब मैं तब तक 45 मिनट देख चुका हूँ, जो आर्चीज मतलब मेरे मेंटल सेटअप का कभी रहा ही नहीं है. बहुत सारी फिल्में होती हैं लेकिन बेटी के कहाँ देखना पड़ा. यू आर नॉट गिविंग फैमिली टाइम पापा. सिट विद मी.
This is where the lines get blurred in real and real.
Yes. तो इसलिए कहा ना कि बेटी पैदा हो गई तो बेटी जो है, बेटी को हम डांटना शुरू करते हैं, बेटी हमें ही डांट देती है.
मनोज, इसके बाद आपको जाके आर्ची दोबारा देखना चाहिए कंप्लीट. मॉरल ऑफ द स्टोरी, आप टाइम नहीं दे रहे उनको.
नहीं, मैं आर्ची कॉमिक्स पढ़ना चाहता हूँ पहले तो, क्योंकि मुझे कुछ पता ही नहीं है.
जी
हाँ. एंड देन वहाँ पे
पहले रिसर्च करेंगे, उसके बाद
रिसर्च के बाद देखा.
बहुत सारी किताबें हैं, पढ़ते पढ़ते आपको 10-15 साल लग जाएंगे, उसके बाद देख लेना.
बहुत है यार. भरी भी है.
अच्छा.
ओके, कैन यू प्लीज पास ईशान को ये बोल पास करते हैं प्लीज.
कौन सा
सर एक बार कैन यू पास द
Bowel movement.
बोल को पास किया है. लेट्स सी.
अगर उसमें से गाना है
तो बहुत लंबा सवाल.
किसी ने क्या है ये
पूरा का पूरा पन्ना लिख के दे दिया किसी ने.
Who is this? Ali Fazal looks like Gulshan.
इनका आपने इंस्टाग्राम पे ये
हाँ,
फोटो के
caption
बाद
देखे,
पता है
तो
कि
यार,
ऐसे
लंबा लिखता है.
35 पेज
लंबा
होते हैं
लिखता है, लंबा
नीचे,
लिखता
कोई नहीं पढ़ते इनके फैन, सब लोग वेरी क्यूट ऐसे. पता नहीं कहाँ शायरी से शुरू करते हैं, पता नहीं कहाँ अंतरिक्ष में पहुंच जाते हैं.
आई थिंक इट्स वेरी स्वीट. या ही राइट्स वेरी वेल.
यही है.
लड़कियां पढ़ती है.
नहीं यार, लेकिन he writes very well.
नहीं, मैं पढ़ता हूँ बट मेरा प्रेशर अलग है. जब मेरी दुविधा देखिए आप, अभी इन्होंने कह दिया कि जवान बच्चे हिंदी में नहीं बोलते, अभी पूरा पन्ना मुझे इंग्लिश में लिख के दिया. तो मैं ट्रांसलेट करके पढ़ूं.
वो हिंदी में लिखा जा सकता था.
मैं हिंदी में
बिल्कुल
इंग्लिश में.
तुमने दुविधा बोला मुझे
है ना सर, लाइसेंस.
आपने बहुत अच्छी हिंदी बोली.
भाई इंग्लिश भी हमारी भाषा है. चल
ठीक है. The world goes through its ups and downs. Through the ages, cinema history has seen it all. How much of it affects your craft, or the films you choose, or does it not? And you focus on creating within your cocoon, And if so, elaborate why you separate the two.
इसके ऊपर separate podcast. ये बात नहीं आंसर.
I'm sorry, but Manoj, your expression, you are reading it very seriously, and Manoj is looking at you like this. Like literally like, what?
ये वही चीज है ना कि every story has been told. There are only those many notes and the octave repeats. It's basically that, right? Like every story is already.
अरे जैसे भाई वर्ल्ड वॉर 2 हुई.
Correct.
तो उस वक्त अगर हम लोग फिल्में बना रहे थे,
So that's what he means.
so
He-
would that
Impact.
have affected your craft within your world as you know it in space and time? या ठीक है, I know it, and both are fine. Both are equal things. There's nothing good or bad.
I
Or
can
you
answer it.
separate that and say यार मैं अभी ये निकाल रहा हूँ, मैं क्राफ्ट पे काम
I
कर
can
रहा हूँ.
answer it.
Yeah.
That's
Like
what
I
there is
think as long as it affects my life, if it would, and if I were smack in the middle of it, if it affected my life, yeah, it would come into my.
It
art
will
for
definitely affect your life. It is happening in Israel, if it is happening in Ukraine, or it is happening anywhere else. It will definitely affect your life because it is affecting your mind. You are reading the news, you are definitely getting affected. So when you are getting affected, it will reflect in your performance. It will reflect in your preparation. It will give certain kind of edge or the interpretation that you will be giving to your performance or to the character. It will
Manifest.
manifest there. It will definitely get manifested there.
So that means do you base your decisions on these factors when you're choosing films? Can I assume that?
I mean, if something is substantial enough that has happened outside of my inner world,
Correct.
that has affected my inner world, yeah.
Okay, sir, it's your turn and the last one.
It's my bowel movement now. सबसे ज़्यादा मैं ही खा रहा था.
Now we are giving you.
अरे उसमें तो और पड़े हैं.
I'll-
पढ़ा दो.
Oh,
लंबा क्वेश्चन
okay.
है क्या? मेरा क्वेश्चन मुझे है क्या? मैं दे दूंगा जवाब जल्दी से.
Let's assume you're sitting in the third shot of a scene, which is now a close-up, with the camera breathing next to you, onto you, all of that. How much or how less of it do you allow it to enter the realm of that moment between you and the others in the scene? Or the context is in space of time.
Good
in space and
question.
time. Is the spontaneity, locked in the first shot? Or it carries on and none at all? And is it all just a calculated masterfully?
I
Can we
cannot-
guess whose question?
Yeah,
Why did you guess this
Ali.
question?
Length वो
It's the
I think
length
it's-
that is giving
I
it
think
away.
short में मैं आंसर दे देता हूँ.
But I think it is very interesting.
It's
Yeah.
a good question. It's a good question.
It's long.
और ये actually ये question should be open to everybody
Right.
because
Yeah,
हम
yeah, sure.
सबका क्योंकि एक तरीका नहीं
It's a
होता.
very good question.
Yeah. I also thought
So
it was very
camera
good.
यहाँ
question.
पर close up.
तो मेरे लिए ना the actual preparation happens before set. जो भी character के ऊपर script के ऊपर आपको काम करना है ना set से पहले आने से पहले आपको कर लो. Set पे आने के बाद acting is purely technical because you are catching light, you are hitting certain marks.
Focus.
And I like to be very conscious of where the camera is. Because it helps me understand the space and how I can interact with that space. So I am conscious. चाहे वो wide shot हो या ये shot हो, मुझे पता है कि कैमरा कहाँ है. कभी कभी मैं पूछ भी लेता हूँ कौन सा लेंस है क्योंकि कभी कभी बड़े लेंस लगाते हैं तो हिले डुले तो फिर वो हाँ. सो आई एम कॉन्शियस ऑफ दैट एंड इन समवेयर आई फील आई ऑल्सो मे बी बिकॉज आई वेंट टू डिजाइन स्कूल कि देयर इज एन आउटसाइड आई ऑल्सो विच लुक्स एट थिंग्स एंड ट्राइज एंड अंडरस्टैंड कि ऐसा है. सो आई कैनॉट आई हैव लर्न टू बिकम कंफर्टेबल विथ 50 people standing around me, the camera and all of those things. I have learned to be comfortable with that.
Correct.
मुझे एक्चुअली बहुत कम बार ऐसे आईलाइन मूवमेंट से प्रॉब्लम वैसे सब ज़्यादा नहीं होता है बिकॉज आई एम लाइक ये केओस में हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं. इसमें आप अपना कंपोजर बनाए रखो. दैट्स द जॉब. दैट्स माय पर्सपेक्टिव. दैट इज द जॉब. आई हैव टू कीप माय कंपोजर.
But like, do you guys allow spontaneity?
It's spontaneous,
somewhere?
yeah. It is possible.
Or at what point?
It is possible for me to be spontaneous in every take. It's possible. If I
You
feel,
do?
yeah.
Or everyone?
We know there are cameras everywhere,
Correct.
but there comes a time when we are not aware of it. I wait for those moments also. It happens in movies also. I forget that there are cameras, not because I'm lost in the emotion. No, I'm being present in the scene, and it doesn't require it requires all my senses to be here.
But does that stay once you've executed the first take of a first shot?
Yeah.
Now अब तीसरा चल रहा है इसका close up अब तुम पे आया.
Yeah. No, but so I'm a greedy actor, so I keep wanting more in each take. So I don't do the same thing I did. Even for cues and all, I feel like कुछ मिलेगा, फिर से अच्छे से करते हैं, कुछ मिलेगा और कुछ मिलेगा और कुछ मिलेगा. वो किसी के लिए भी नहीं होगा, वो मेरे लिए. मैं घर जाऊंगा, मुझे अच्छा लगेगा, कुछ मिल गया अदरवाइज.
Nice.
You see, I demonstrated this what I said here also because I was the only one I pointed out to that.
He is very aware.
Very good.
He was called D4.
You're right.
He was called D3 in Dahaad. D4. 3 directors already.
3 पे आए नहीं अब.
Director 4.
Director 4. So he was officially titled D4.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he is very.
I personally feel that you are not acting for the lens or how close the camera is. You are actually acting for the character that you are talking to or you are interacting with. The distance between that character and you
Nice.
is the deciding force.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay? If suppose Vijay is sitting here and Ishaan is sitting that much, that far, and Gulshan is there. Let the camera be right, breathing down my neck here. It doesn't matter. The magic happens when you forget or try to forget or try not to play for this camera, rather play for this
The person.
And that is when you get some really fantastic visuals in the frame. When you forget, when you stop acting for the camera and start acting for the character that you are acting with.
ये आपके लिए ज़्यादातर होता है मनोज?
ज़्यादा होता है. एंड एक चीज़ से मैं अग्री करता हूँ जो विजय ने कहा. देयर कम्स अ पॉइंट व्हेन यू आर जस्ट इन द ट्रूथ ऑफ द मोमेंट एंड यू फॉरगेट एवरीथिंग. बट व्हेन आई एम रिहर्सिंग देयर आई हैव अ प्रॉब्लम विद एनीबॉडी मूविंग because I'm still fragile. I'm still fragile at that point of time. I'm still trying to work out. So that point of time I don't want anybody moving. So I may just stop the rehearsal. I may just look at the person. पहले होता था कि चीख पड़ता था, लेकिन अब नहीं होता है.
आँख से काम हो जाता है.
अब यहाँ
एक नजर काफी है. No, but you're right, sir. मतलब it's total tunnel vision. जब कैमरास खुलते हैं, 500 लोग आप खड़े कर दीजिए, मुझे I'm okay. I think वो एकदम से just everything closes in. But वो close में एक awareness होती है. Even if I'm talking to him, it suddenly becomes microscopic.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking of the camera, but वो
Blinders.
Yeah, man. Sometimes the once maybe out of body types हुए हैं, but
The worst kinds are where you can't see who you're interacting with.
वहाँ
पर फंसता हूँ.
Can
वहाँ पर मुझे लगता है fake ही है.
I ask a counter question? Do you like it when the camera is that close? Do you like it? Do you enjoy it?
I don't care.
You don't care?
No, I don't care. मुझे इतनी दूर हो चाहे उतनी दूर. वो देवाशीष मखीजा के साथ काम करोगे तो मतलब वहाँ से शुरू होता है, खत्म होते होते यहाँ पे होता है. आपको पता नहीं है. By that time you are just into your own zone and suddenly जो है जब आपको awareness थोड़ी होती तो पता चलता है कि कैमरा मैन यहाँ पे खड़ा है आपके. या एक दो बार हुआ है कि स्टार्टल हो गया मैं, है ना, and you're trying to align yourself. तो उसके बाद मैंने कहा एक और दे दे, मुझे पता ही नहीं था यहाँ पे मेरे मुंह पे आ जाएगा.
But that credit you would give him, sir?
I feel like there's a sorry. I mean, I was just saying there's a secret between you and the camera. I feel always.
Yeah, I feel.
And it makes I'm just aware of every twitch the closer it comes. मुझे बस वो थोड़ा लगता है.
मुझे कुछ कैमरामैन जो होते हैं
They make the presence felt. I don't like it.
कुछ होते हैं जो they make their presence felt, but कुछ जो होते हैं वो आप कुछ तो वो तो आपके breathing के हिसाब से they come close to you.
Yeah.
Somewhere they start predicting how you are going to.
ये जोरम में ऐसा हुआ था आपके साथ सर?
जोरम में भोसले में भी हुआ मेरे साथ. बहुत ज़्यादा.
Tasadduk does this. I shot with him on something. He noticed him breathing.
Khufiya.
Yeah. Not Khufiya. He didn't shoot Khufiya. It's another film. जो आएगी तो चीजें गलत हो जाएंगी.
लेकिन हर बार ऐसे लोग नहीं मिलते ना, तो जो है उसके साथ.
No, I saw somebody who was trying to make his presence felt, and I just got very ticked off because I feel like cameraman should be not making his presence felt.
That's the opposite. I was saying something that aided me.
It's like fly on the wall. वो पता ही नहीं चला कि वो कब आया आपके पास में. हाँ, तो वो ज़्यादा मज़ा आता है. इतने स्मूथ होते हैं, आपके बॉडी मूवमेंट, आपकी ब्रीदिंग से ही समझ जाते हैं कि कहाँ से जाना है, कैसे जाना है.
And there's some ace.
Some really is photographer, yeah. Amazing.
फोकस पुलर वगैरह भी
Applause for those people. We love you as actors.
Yeah.
We love you
100%.
and your craft.
But I think, see, long question, Anna, this is such an interesting question because when you submitted this question to me, I told you there's something very interesting. I really wanted to know. So thank you.
I think it was, I would go
10
as far
points?
as to say as the best question.
You're not on Coffee with Karan, but
What would you like to be?
Why not?
Why not?
But there you go. But it's okay. Ishaan, only you wanted to say something on it because everybody has given. You want to say something on this question? You wanted to share your part of it?
It's a very interesting. I had many thoughts, but I got lost in what sir was saying. But okay, personally, I feel I enjoy it. I actually enjoy it a lot. I feel like I actually feel a little more liberated sometimes.
Yeah.
When the camera's
And I
that
am
close.
aware of the camera. My training was as an AD, so lensing की थोड़ी बहुत समझ जब हुई थी, so it does. I feel it is a craft to act for the camera, and I try not to be conscious of it, but I'm always aware of it.
Correct.
But I find it sometimes it's a very technical job. It's like, for example, I know I have to lean back so I don't cut his shot now after I got a ishara from here. So when you're doing wider shots, often there are many things that you have to play with. At least in my experience so far, there's some directors that fully liberate you, which is amazing. But when that doesn't happen, sometimes I find the closer it comes, I feel a little more liberated. Like he said, you're aware of every twitch and all that. It's not even that, it's just then somebody said, I don't know who said this, but somebody said the face becomes your stage in a close-up and a camera. And that, I feel the closer the camera comes, the deeper inside I can go sometimes. Sometimes I feel that. Like in,
I totally agree with that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
Because if I know it's going longer, but it does set a tempo. And जहाँ rhythm आती है वहाँ पूरा scene involved है मुझे लगता है. कैमरा चाहे ट्रॉली पे चल रहा है, एक इस कमरे का एक टेम्पो है, और तो हमारी सारी रिदम्स कहीं ना कहीं उसमें जुड़ रही हैं, वहीं केमिस्ट्री बन रही है.
But I don't subscribe to the rhythm thing. Like मैं rhythm वाला हूँ ही नहीं, but
आप इंस्टिंक्टिवली हो.
हाँ, नहीं.
आप नाच भी चाहो तो आप होगे.
नहीं, वो तो देखो सुर ताल का ज्ञान है मेरे.
लेकिन कितनी बार मैं प्ले भी करता हूँ. जैसे मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है कि मैं कैमरे के साथ में थोड़ा सा छुपन छुपाई खेलूं, हाइड एंड सीक. यू कैन सी मी ओनली दिस मच, you can see me this much, you can see me full, and suddenly you don't see me, and suddenly I'm here. So I like to do it, so because it's cinema at the end of the day. And also given the character, I would like to manipulate the camera. I love the shots where you can see only this much of an actor.
वो feel है जो, just a feel.
I love those shots, and those actors like Tom Hanks, Om Puri. Om Puri used to do it and do it so well.
ये मोहनलाल भी करते हैं.
मोहनलाल, yeah, पूरा मुड़ जाते हैं मोहनलाल. So
Succession has a lot of those, and I just love that.
Yeah, so
बड़ा कमाल का.
So then they have 2-3 cameras shooting. So there, whether it's all about every camera is shooting. So that is up to the editor and the director to decide. But when there is only one camera, there's director and actor is playing with the camera. I just love it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Sometimes like when I'm doing a scene, there is an awareness that I perhaps have. वो flow state.
rhythm के बिना क्या मतलब था?
मैं समझाने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. Flow state. I really want to break. I tried consciously to break rhythms also sometimes.
You want like that?
But that is also a
you like it
edit
chaotic,
हाँ,
like.
Of course it will
ठीक है,
fall.
वैसे तो देखा जाए तो सब कुछ सब माया है गुरु. Everything is an algorithm. Everything is an algorithm.
On that happy note.
अरे सुनो ना.
सुन लो.
Sometimes मैं ऐसे scene कर रहा हूँ.
अबे पिट जाएंगे हम लोग घर पे से.
कर रहा हूँ. And in my head I'm like वो flow में ठीक है, flow में जा रहा है वो, flow में जा रहा है.
No. But what I mean is.
But then I feel that I can do this. I feel that ये line थोड़ी गड़बड़ आई या कहीं थोड़ी better हो सकता है. Sometimes I'm saying because I know कुछ थोड़ा शूट करने के बाद आपको एडिट पैटर्न समझ में आ गया कि ये जो डायरेक्टर्स क्या कैसे इसको काटेंगे. जब आप वो समझ जाएंगे ना, so sometimes I'm doing the thing and I'm like ये line निकली, then I'm like without breaking character or sometimes even breaking character, you get back and I say it 2-3 times in slightly different ways because I'm also trying to keep consciously also trying to perform for the camera, through the camera to the maker. Almost I'm like, you know, I hope you have 3 options now from me. I don't know. I hope you like it.
Right.
It's pretty much like that. And I पहले बहुत मैं इससे घबरा जाता था. मेरा rhythm break हो गया ये वो. But now I enjoy it. I enjoy understanding and fitting my craft into a very technical environment.
On that note, first of all, thank you so much. You all have been patient, you all have been very kind, and I'm very honored that you all have actually given me the opportunity to put you all together because I didn't have to do anything much here. I had to just ask one or two questions, thoda about decent, and I think rest was just magic. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to listen to these stories. Yeah, I hope everybody listens to this conversation because I think this itself a lot of actors will learn so much
No,
from.
but you know, this was for me. It was happening because you know I have a lot of admiration for these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they know it. So I just love them. So I was looking forward to just being on this. And I'm not being humble here. He knows this. I love them because I love the actors.
Yeah.
I just love them. I relate to them. I know what all they are going through.
We have a great deal of respect for you, sir. Really, like you laid the foundation. आपने foundation लगा नींव लगाई है. हम लोग एक-एक ईंट कर रहे हैं.
We'll always belong to the Manoj Bajpayee fan club. I'm actually everybody, like fantastic actors. But thank you once again.
Thank you.
I hope you all had as much fun as I did. I hope so.
Yes.
I'm like, I hope so. But thank you. And we will do this again. But I'm pretty much sure that this group will be there every year for among the best performances. I'm 100% sure that that will be there.
Like अरे same guest को मत बुलाओ ना, फिर वही बोलेंगे कि
Excuse me, how can you say stuff like this? If you all have performed well.
How can you say like that?
अरे
Does not
वही
apply for
लोग
Gulshan
आते हैं
Devaiah.
That's true.
It doesn't
Then
apply.
Manoj has three films in 1 year that has been out. I'm sure next also whatever he's doing, all 3 will be like that.
यार ये तुम्हारे मुंह में घी शक्कर है.
Always.
तो पता चला कि कुछ चिटेगोंग.
अगर मेरी कोई फिल्म रिलीज नहीं हो रही, मेरी फिल्म रिलीज नहीं हो रही, मैं स्टाइलिश बन के आऊंगा.
have this grape.
No, thank you.
ये हमारे मैं तो खाया, तुमने एक भी नहीं खाया. तुमको एक खाना
वो
पड़ेगा.
Thank you.
कपड़े ठीक करे तो मैंने
Fresh है ये वो
फिर आप चले गए तो मैंने फेंक दिया. सर आपको
सर ये डिजाइन इंडस्ट्री और सर्विस इंडस्ट्री.
मैं भी था पर.
And ending on this note, have a great new year. But I promise you that with actors like this, the conversations will continue about films that deserve to be respected and loved. And I hope you support that. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming, man.
From the old Novotel to the That's what she said.